Hello, this is Jason P. Wilson 01 X-Force, and this is my DC comic poll list for the week of October 5th, 2011, and today is the 7th. It is a Friday. And first up here for my DCs is, of course, my first number 2, and that is Batman Detective Comics number 2. Now, I was one of the people that really enjoyed the first issue. I didn't think it was perfect, but I definitely enjoyed it. So I was really looking forward to seeing what direction it was going to be going in issue number 2, and I'm happy to say that it went in a very strong direction. I definitely felt this was better than the first issue. All the questions I had about the first issue, as in if I was going to enjoy this series or not, were really answered in this book because I liked the direction that it went. At the first couple panels, it was, kind of interaction between some characters that you kind of have to do, but as soon as Batman came in, it was really good. It's definitely a very intense Batman book, and you're finally introduced to a new Batman Rogue, and I really feel this character fits in perfectly with the Batman Rogue Gallery. I really kind of like what they've been doing with the classic Batman Rogue Gallery in like the Arkham Asylum video game franchise. I like how they take these characters and they kind of made them more gritty and more intense, and I really like that. So I feel a lot of that in these two issues, first two issues of Detective Comics, and I really like what how they're introducing this new character. This new villain. I won't say too much because there's lots of spoilers. So far, these first two Detective Comics, they end on big cliffhangers. Big cliffhangers. The first two issues had big cliffhangers in them. I don't know if that's going to be a regular thing they're going to do, but that definitely limits what I can say. But I will say this. If you like the first issue, you'll really like the second issue. And if you didn't like the first issue, I do want to say that this second issue was a lot stronger, so you might want to go ahead and give it another try. But for me, the first two DC comics that I put in my to-get list of the New 52 were Action and Detective. For me, they're legacy titles, and this is the first time that they've been, restarted ever. So I really wanted to be on board with the first relaunching ever of the two legacy titles of Action and Detective. So regardless, I wanted to pick them up. And I'm just really glad that they both have been good. Action has been fantastic, and Detective has been very good. So I'm looking forward to seeing where this series is going. And I'm definitely glad I'm picking it up. Now, I already made my cuts. And between the three comic companies I buy a lot of, DC, Marvel, and Image in that order, I cut like 18 comics from my saver. And even with cutting 18, I still have a lot of comics. So there were cuts that had to be made. Even though all the comics I cut, I really did enjoy, and it was really tough cutting them. When I'm enjoying a comic, it's really hard for me to stop getting it, but time and money issues, just I had to make cuts. So I made my first big round of cuts. Now, the rest of them I'm going to keep until either the artist or the writer that I'm enjoying leaves, and then I might be cutting books at that point. But for now, I'm pretty solid in what I'm getting. And next up here is Swamp Thing. I enjoyed the first issue. It was mainly a setup issue, but I did enjoy it. But I wasn't sure about the art at first, but towards the last couple pages of the first issue, I was really liking the art. So it continues with what I was liking about the art right away in issue number 2. Now, it's still a setup issue. Scott Snyder's kind of like that. He takes his time telling a story, which is really good, and he usually has a really big payoff. But I'm really liking this, and Scott Snyder is definitely becoming one of my favorite writers on comics. I think him and Judd Winnick both are becoming two of my favorites. Definitely Scott's up there now with Jeff Johns and Morrison for me. So a really solid issue, and I'm looking forward to seeing where they're going to be taking this. Alright, and next up here is Batwing number 2. Now, Batwing number 2 was quite impressive. It's everything I liked in issue number 1, just more of it. I'm really starting to like this character of Batwing. I'm really starting to kind of identify with him. Not identify with him, but understand him. And I think Winnick here is really writing him well. Definitely, when you think Batman in Africa, I mean, you can't help but think like Savage, right? Savage, intense, almost like primal stuff. And that's exactly what you get. Batman in Africa is a very intense and violent story. And this character is, you know, his basically his first real big villain is this villain called Massacre, and it's exactly what he does. He massacres people in villages, and that is definitely an issue, a problem that's going around in Africa for what decades now. So it's definitely relevant, and when the main character reacts with emotion, you definitely kind of feel that emotion with him. It's both the writing and the beautiful artwork that really makes this comic a pleasure to read. Batwing was a great big surprise for me. I was not getting this. Then I heard it was good, got the first issue, and really liked it. And as long as Winnick is staying on here, and I definitely love Oliver's artwork. This team together, to me, if they're going to be doing this book for a while, I'm definitely going to be wanting to read it. Great second issue. And next up here is issue number 2 of Red Lantern. Now, I got the first Red Lantern, and I did enjoy the story, but I absolutely loved the artwork. It was really about the artwork for me. And when I was making my decisions on what I was keeping and what I was cutting, the one reason why I couldn't cut this book is because, first, it does go well with reading Green Lanterns. So I read Green Lanterns and Red Lanterns, so they kind of go well together. But the main reason why I kept this book was the absolutely beautiful artwork. I love this artwork, and it's gorgeous. The story is, you know, a lot of setup still, but for me that's perfect because I don't know the Red Lanterns like a lot of Green Lantern fans do. These Green Lantern and Red Lantern books are the first real consecutive books I've picked up of Green Lantern, not counting trades. So for now, I'm going to be sticking with both those books, and obviously Jeff Johns' Green Lantern was the one to stick with, but I really like this as a great complement to that. And like I said, the artwork is absolutely fantastic, and that's the main reason why I'm keeping this. But I'm enjoying the story, and it's a lot of setup, but I'm still liking it. Now, you could argue this might be a great one to pick up on trade, because it is so beautifully drawn, and, you know, there's not a lot going on story-wise that wouldn't be better if you read them all at once. So that is a good argument to pick it up on trade. But for now, anyway, I'm going to be picking it up on singles. If the artist leaves, though, then I will consider leaving. Alright, next up is one that I had to wait for. I had this in my saver, but the owner talked to me about it and said that he wasn't sure if I was going to like it. And I had a lot of books at that point, so I was like, oh, okay, no big deal, you know, I won't get it. And then, of course, it was sold out everywhere, and everyone said it was really, really good. So I was like, crap. So what I could have gotten at like for like $2.40. That's with my discount. I ended up paying like $9 for online. Really bad decision of me not to pick this up. Even though I was talked out of it. I was technically talked out of it. But still, I should have went with my instincts and got it. Because I had to pay $9 to read the first issue, which I hate to do. But at least it's in mint conditions, perfect, unread. Still, paying that much more what I could have gotten for $2.40, just, I hate doing that. But anyways, let's go back to the book. Really good. Now, this is a late review, obviously, because this came out a while ago, but I received it, you know, a few days ago, and I really liked it. A lot of people said the artwork was plain. You know, it is kind of, but it kind of works. It's like the art style, and it's a good one. I really enjoy the art. Not as much as like Red Lantern artwork or anything, but I still like it. And it has, I don't know, the coloring. The artwork, someone says it's plain, but I just kind of like this style. But the coloring is really well done. Coloring really brings out, I don't know, emotions and feelings, and I really liked it. There's a scene in here where Hera cuts the head off of horses, and then these things grow out of like where the head used to be, and I was like, what's going on? And then all of a sudden these centaurs come charging into this girl's house. And I thought, oh wow, that was a cool way to do that. That's pretty neat. You know what this reminds me of? I was a fan way back when of the Hercules and Xena television show. It definitely has that feel that Hercules and Xena has, without the campy, of course. If you take away the campy, the serious stuff of those two shows, that's what's kind of this feeling is, like the type of style it is. And I'm really liking that. So I cannot believe I didn't pick this up for $2.40 when I had the chance. Stupid me, because it is a really good comic. And all the people, all the things that people are saying out there about this book being really good, absolutely. I'm not trying to oversell it, but even though I was expecting it to be good, it still surprised me. So that says a lot for me. Really good, and this is definitely going to be staying in my pull list. Okay, next up is number 2 for Stormwatch. Now, shocker, shocker, I dropped this. I went ahead and picked this one up because it was in my saver, but I definitely dropped it. It's not that I don't like it. In fact, the end of this was really good. It makes me want to get the 3rd issue, but you know, I took it out of my saver. But this would be one of those comics like Avengers that if I see it on the rack when I pick up my saver comics, as long as it's there, I might be grabbing it. But the moment that it's not there and I can't get it, I'm not going to search it out. I'm just going to be done. But this was a good, solid issue. And the very last page was awesome. This giant alien thing, you know, and you're looking at it from below, like looking up at it. And I really like that. The artwork in here is really solid and very good writing. It's definitely, anyone who's picking this up is not going wrong. I just, for all of my comics, I figured this might be one that I'd want to drop. Actually, this would be one that I'd love to pick up on trade. That's the main reason why I decided no Stormwatch, is because I could easily read this on trade and really enjoy it. So, Stormwatch number 2, very good. And if you're reading already, you don't need to know. The first issue was good. This one's better. This one's better. So a very, very strong issue. And last up here for my DCs is the first limited series. Well, maybe not the first. I think the Penguin one was the first. But the first one that I picked up. And that is Huntress number 1. This is 1 of 6. So, I always liked the Huntress. I really liked her with Birds of Prey. And I thought to myself, okay, let's take a look. I opened it up and I looked inside and I love the artwork. and I kind of glanced through, did a little bit of cheating to see if I wanted to pick up the series. That's what I like to do before I add anything. And I was really liking what I was seeing, so I brought it home, and it was actually one of the first books I read, and I really liked it. Now, I'm not sure where they're going with it at this point. I think it's in this DCU, but it almost feels like a Earth 1, Earth 2 type storyline, but I'm not positive, but I think this storyline is here in the DCU. I think this is introducing the new Huntress. They've changed some things. They've changed some things about her, and I'm on the fence. I think I'm going to wait a couple more issues before I want to decide whether I like the changes or not. But I'm trying to look at this with a fresh mind, and this is definitely the Huntress that we all know and love, as in her personality and her character. Beautiful artwork again. The artwork really fits her style of story. Coloring is fantastic. Coloring really makes this issue. The penciler is great, but the coloring just, bam, really pulls you in. And the story, like I said, at this point, it's solid, but I'm just not sure where they're going with it. But I'm definitely going to be picking up all 6 issues, because as soon as I was done reading it, I was wanting more. I was like, okay, I cannot wait till the next issue comes out. I really want to know where they're going with this. But for one issue, a lot happens in here. There's good action, good story development. The introduction is a good one, but at the same time, it's not kind of like what a lot of the new DCs are doing. They're kind of drawing it out a little bit. No, not at all. You're getting what you need to know, but they're keeping the pacing really strong. So this is a great first limited run from DC, and wow, keep up the good work, guys. This was a great issue, and I'm definitely getting all the rest of the next 5. And with that, those are my DCs. I'm curious what you guys have picked up this week. I am going to post up a separate video showing what I kept, but that's not saying that the ones that I dropped I might not be picking up if I see them. That also doesn't mean the ones that I'm keeping past the first story arc. So I'd like to hear back from you guys. Curious what you guys are reading, what you guys picked up, what you guys dropped off. And if you guys liked any of these new limited runs, I didn't pick up the Penguin one. I'm not really interested in that. But this one, it definitely is a really good issue, guys. I definitely recommend you guys pick this one up. And you know, DC's just really doing a good job right now. They're only a very low percentage of the books are not good. A very high, surprisingly high percentage, I thought, were worthy of anyone picking up if you're interested in the characters. I would like to say this: they're definitely doing a good job with their Edge titles and their supernatural horror titles. They're exceptionally well. We all know they do good in the justice stuff, and they're doing pretty good with the teen stuff. But I'm really surprised with the edgy stuff and the horror stuff, how well DC is doing. So I was wondering if you guys thought that as well. And with that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.